actually a couple of seconds early tonight, but I accidentally just kind of went live. But yeah, I'm here for a live Q&A here tonight with you guys. Don't know how many is going to join, but I did put a poll out. I put a couple of polls out then in the past like week or so, pretty much. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. Pretty much kind of letting you all pick the live stream schedule. I'm still going to be doing Ken's movie experience on Sunday nights, but I thought I would do maybe some special like one-off like Q&As and stuff on different nights. And I asked like what would be the best night for you guys to join? Would it be Tuesday night? Would it be Monday night? Wednesday night? Tuesday and Wednesday was actually exactly the same like amount of votes. The same amount of people. Very few people voted for Monday, but then I put a poll out, I think yesterday or Monday, asking like what time would be good, and everybody voted for 9. That one got across the board, picked 9. So hopefully I'll get some people in here to join. And like I said, this is a Q&A. You guys can ask me anything. It's for you guys to come in here. You pretty much dictate this show, this Q&A, by just asking me whatever, and I'll answer it for you tonight on this very special edition of my live Q&A here on YouTube. So we got Jason Edwards in here. What is up, man? Always providing me great comments and stuff in my videos. Happy to have you in here, man. He asked, did you watch Freaky? I did watch Freaky. I actually watched Freaky a couple of weeks ago. I reviewed it on one of my drives, one of my Blu-ray hunts. I don't know if you watched that. I liked the movie quite a bit. I actually paid $20 to get it, to rent it. So that was kind of, I don't think it was quite worth 20 bucks, but it was a really fun movie. It was directed by the same guy that did Happy Death Day. I'm forgetting the guy's name off the top of my head, but it was gory. It was a lot gorier, it was a lot bloodier, it had a lot more teeth to it than Happy Death Day. And I enjoyed Freaky a lot. I thought Vince Vaughn was great. He had to play like the Jack Black type teenage girl character. And he did a good job, very similar to Jack Black in the way he kind of portrayed that character. But yeah, I really enjoyed Freaky quite a bit. Catherine Newton, she was kind of playing like the generic teen girl for like the first 15 minutes. But then when she got to actually show off some of her range and become that villainous evil character, because both her and Vince Vaughn switch places, and she essentially becomes a slasher villain throughout the rest of the film. Yeah, it's a cool movie. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10 on my Instagram. So yeah, let's see who else we got in here, guys. I want to make sure I'm calling out everybody. We got Craig Thompson in here. Welcome, Craig. He asks, what are your thoughts on King Kong 1976 coming from Scream Factory? Yeah, that got announced, I think, yesterday. So it's coming from Shout Factory. I don't think it's coming from Scream Factory. I could be wrong on that, though. But yeah, it looks cool. I've never seen King Kong 1976. Actually, I've never seen the 1932 one either. I want to check that one out before Kong versus Godzilla. Since I'm on Team Kong, I think I'm going to go back and maybe rewatch and review like a lot of the older King Kong films. I might do the Peter Jackson one from 2005. I might do the 1976 one, and then I might do the 1932 one. Is there another one? Is there another one? I know Kong Skull Island. I've seen that one, but I might do that one too, because I don't think I've officially reviewed that one either. So yeah, maybe review Godzilla 1998 to kind of give the lizard some love. But yeah, super excited for that. I'm always excited for anything that Scream Factory and Shout Factory announce. By the way, I will be doing my entire Scream Factory, Shout Factory collection video. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. I actually shot that last night. It's about 40 to 45 minutes long. I'm almost done editing it. So it's a little longer than my normal videos. But if you've been a subscriber of this channel for any length of time, you know that sometimes I do some long videos. And usually it's my collection videos that run a little bit long. I can't help it, like when I'm in the middle of showing everything off, I just can't help but talk about everything for like 2 and 3 minutes at a time. And I had like 66 titles to show off. So that will be dropping tomorrow, which should be pretty cool. Thanks for everybody that's in here so far. If you're just now joining, we're just doing a Q&A. You guys can ask me anything movie related, physical media related, whatever you guys want to ask, entertainment related, TV, whatever. In the world of entertainment, or you can just ask me like, what's my favorite food? I don't care. Ask me anything. I'm doing the best I can. Let's see. Eddie S is in here. Hey man, what is up? Sam Jr. said, Ken, what do you think of the new Joker pictures? I put something out on my Instagram yesterday about it. They look all right. They look cool. I don't really understand why Joker is in the new Justice League movie. Like, he wasn't in the other one, and I don't get like how he fits into that narrative. But okay, I mean, it looks cool. It looks like they're just trying to throw everything at the wall and seeing what sticks with this new Snyder cut movie. And it's like, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. That's all I can say. But yeah, they look all right. They definitely look better than what he did before. But to be honest, it feels like a little bit too little, too late for my taste. But let's see. Jason Edwards says, me too. So did you enjoy Freaky? Is that what you're saying? Oscar is in here. What is up, Oscar? What is up, Oscar? He says, hi, Ken. How are you doing? I work with Oscar, so it's nice to have him in here tonight. Let's see. We got Cinephile Nation Pratty's in here tonight. What is up? He is a staple of Ken's movie experience every Sunday night. And guys, I don't just do live streams randomly on Wednesday nights. I actually have a live stream that I do every single Sunday that's called Ken's Movie Experience. We kind of just get together and talk about movies. Most of the time we're like reviewing and talking about films from like over the weekend that came out. Any like new topics like trailers, trailer reactions, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a cool time. So definitely come hang out there on Sunday nights. Let's see. He said, what a nice little surprise. Just got home from work. Can't wait to nerd out. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. Also, hi, Sam and everyone. Let's see. Sam Jr. Kim, what do you think about cancel culture? I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, some people deserve it. Some people, I think they go a little bit too far on. But yeah, it's kind of a sensitive era right now. It's a sensitive time. You got to kind of watch what you say. You just can't go out there and say whatever you want. And yeah, it is what it is. I take it about a case by case basis. And, most of us, like, we're not there with them. We're not involved in all these situations. So really, I don't have a room to really speculate or have a definitive opinion on most of these things that fly around about people. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I think about it. But I do think that people rush to criticize a little bit too quickly. Let's see. Craig Thompson says King Kong Escapes. Is that another one? Is that another King Kong movie? Awesome to know. Awesome to know. If you guys are just now joining, hit that like button. First of all, I appreciate it. And yeah, I would definitely appreciate hitting the like button. I got a dislike. That was like the first thing that I got. So it's whatever. I've got haters out there. I don't know why, but I do. Cinephiles Nation Pratty says Jared Leto's Joker will complete the nightmare sequence of BVS. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I guess it makes sense to have Jared Leto complete the nightmare sequence, right? Let's see, Sam Jr. Ken, what's your favorite PS4 game? So pretty much the only one I played and beat is the Spider-Man game. And I beat that, I think, in the middle of last year, somewhere around there. It took me like 6 months to beat it. I don't play games a whole lot. But funny you should mention, so they just had that game Control come on there. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but Remedy made that. The same people that made the game Alan Wake. I used to game a lot back in the day. I used to play my 360 like a madman back. That was pretty much the era that I used to game, was in the 360 PS3 era. And yeah, so the same people that made Alan Wake made this game called Control, and it was like a free game to download on PS4. So I started playing that because I do want to play more games. It's just like pulling my attention away from TV and movies and YouTube, all this extra stuff that I do. I'd like to read more as well. And yeah, there's just a lot of things I would like to do more. I eventually would love to like live stream video games and stuff like that because I do want to get back into gaming. But I have been playing that game and I have been enjoying that game. So it's been nice to kind of just hang out and, play games and not worry about how my video's doing on YouTube or what my next video is going to be. Because I'm getting a little bit better at kind of structuring and planning out my videos and shooting them a little bit earlier, giving myself time to edit and put them up. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to game a little bit more this year. Maybe read a couple books here and there as well. But that was an awesome question, Sam. Cinephiles Nation said, your thoughts on Framing Britney? I am not a fan or anything, so is it worth checking out? So yes, I don't know if you saw, did I review this on Letterboxd? I think I might have last night. I did watch Framing Britney last night. on Hulu. I think it's on FX, or it's from FX, but it was a New York Times documentary. It's about 80 minutes long, and I do recommend it. It is worth checking out. Now, I grew up in the Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Korn, Limp Bizkit, that whole late 90s, early 2000s era. It's a very interesting era for music back then because you had all of these genres of music like coming together. Now it's like primarily like rap and pop. It's pretty much all you get. During like the late 90s into the early 2000s, you had like rock and rap and pop, and R&B and all this stuff like coming together at the exact same time and just firing on all cylinders. So it was a very interesting time for music. And yeah, Britney Spears, she's one of the all-time, I don't know if I would call her the all-time greats, but she is one of the all-time like definitive superstars of that era for sure. And that was a very interesting kind of eye-opening documentary because the thing that they asked you to think about is how, again, like we're talking about with cancel culture and rushing to criticize people so quickly or throw them under the bus. And in that documentary, it kind of forces you to think, we all remember back when she shaved her head bald and she went nuts on the guy's car with the umbrella, right? And so it kind of, and we all called her crazy and everybody made fun of her, and that she was like, not really a meme because they didn't have those back then, but people are making fun of her on late night talk shows and all this stuff. And this documentary really forces you to think like, was that right? Was that right of us to criticize her for that stuff that she did when she was obviously suffering for some kind of mental issue? So yeah, it was an interesting documentary that I enjoyed a lot. And then of course the main theme of it was the fact that she's being kind of held, not really prisoner because she still has freedom to do things, but her dad's like in charge of her finances and she's kind of confined to her home. And yeah, he sets up all of her tour dates and stuff like that. So it was an interesting documentary and kind of this movement that everybody's going into, the Free Britney, and the question that's being asked, like, is she mentally able to handle her own finances now? Like, why hasn't that been under review again? And yeah, I enjoyed the documentary. Like I said, I grew up in that era. And yeah, I remember Britney Spears when she was like the biggest pop superstar on the earth. And it is kind of sad what happened to her. And I do think that people rush to make fun of and make light of situations a little bit too quickly and criticize and say, oh, you're crazy, when there might be something else going on. Like, you're not in her shoes. You weren't in that situation. I'm sure it's hard being a young kid to be a superstar at that young of age. I mean, you see this with all kinds of kid actors. They're not right. Most of them grow up to be not right. There's very few that really break out of that mold. So let's see what else we got here, guys. But yeah, as far as the documentary, I do recommend watching it. It's on Hulu. Check it out. It's not very long, so I think it's worth a watch, and it provokes some thought-provoking questions. Let's see. Cinephiles Nation said, your thoughts on framing. I already answered that. Craig Thompson said, thoughts on Duel 1971. What is Duel 1971? I don't. Is that the Steven Spielberg film? Is that what you're talking about? Is that the wasn't that like a made-for-TV movie, I think? So I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Duel 1971, but I need to check it out for sure. What are your thoughts on Duel 1971? Go ahead and let me know. Patrick Curran said, love the videos. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate that. Sam Jr. said, did you see Oscar nominations? No, did they already have the Oscar nominations? I know they did the Golden Globes and the SAG Awards. When did they do the Oscars? I didn't see anything about that. Patrick Curran says, are you going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah? Definitely going to watch Judas and the Black Messiah. Going to try to watch that on Friday when I get home from work, and I'll probably be talking about that this Sunday on Ken's Movie Experience, my thoughts on that. So definitely. So yeah, guys, if you're just now joining, if you don't mind hitting that like button, I would appreciate it. And yeah, this is Ask Me Anything. You guys can come in, ask me whatever you want, listen to what I have to say, and you guys can bounce out, or you can stay the whole show and just ask me a bunch of questions. I don't care. But yeah, I'd appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button. Danny K Reviews is in here. He says, hi, what is up, Danny K? Fellow YouTuber, does some great content over on his channel. Definitely check him out. We got Robert Hathaway here tonight, another guy that I work with. So we got all the people that I work with coming in here, hanging out tonight. I appreciate that. Robert, let's see. Patrick Curran says, are you going to play Cyberpunk 2077? So I don't game a lot anyway. I'm kind of going back and trying to play these games that came out like a couple of years ago. And all the things I've heard about Cyberpunk 2077, everything's telling me that I should stay as far away from that as possible. So I don't know if I'm going to play Cyberpunk 2077, but maybe someday I'll get around to it. There's just a lot of other games that I want to get to before I play that one. Let's see. Pratty says, I loved Miss Americana, the Taylor Swift documentary. It was also eye-opening. Totally recommend it. I am convinced to watch Framing Britney now. Brilliant pitch. Yeah, it's a good documentary. I haven't checked out the Taylor Swift documentary. My wife is a huge Taylor Swift fan, like massive, and me not so much. And you know, but credit to her. You know, she seems to be on the straight and narrow, and she seems to be kind of forging her own path in her own way, and she's doing a good job. She's doing a great job. And she hasn't cracked yet, and hopefully she doesn't. Let's see. Reaction for Life is here. What is up? Or Reaction Life 21. I don't know why I put in a for life, but I have NWO on the brain, I guess. Is Blade Runner 2049 worth a watch and to get it on DVD? Yeah, if you only have means to watch DVD, but I do recommend watching it on Blu-ray or 4K because the visuals on that look absolutely outstanding, and it has to be seen on like the best possible format. Blu-ray is probably fine. 4K, it looks beautiful. So I have it behind me because I just recently restructured my collection. I'm working through it right now. As you see, my Scream Factories aren't usually over here, my Arrows and Criterions and stuff. I kind of moved some stuff around last night. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049. Love the slipcover too, by the way. Phenomenal film on 4K. But yeah, I would say any format though, just watch it because it's a great film all on its own. Let's see. Craig Thompson said, I loved it. Have it on Blu-ray to hold up for all of this time. Awesome. Danny K Review says, favorite Disney animated movie? Mine is The Lion King. So I'll give you my top three. So my number 3 would probably be The Lion King. I mean, it's a great film. My number 2 is probably the most controversial because I don't know if a lot of people would have this up this high, but I love the movie Moana, and I know it's a more recent Disney movie, but I remember seeing that movie in the theaters back in 2016, taking my daughter, taking my son, and just being completely blown away by that movie and just the music and the animation and the story. I love the voice work. I love The Rock in it. It reminded me of like a new age Aladdin, which is my number 1. Aladdin's my favorite animated film of all time. And yeah, Moana is awesome. Incredible music, incredible animation. I love that movie so much. And I haven't watched it in a while, and I need to watch it again. So yeah, there you go. Sam Jr. said, Ken, what do you think about the Wizard of Oz remake announced? Isn't it like supposed to be another prequel or something? I don't know. It seems kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they, oh, you said Wizard of Oz. I thought you were, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So the Wizard of Oz, no, I have not heard there was going to be a remake of that, but you know, I don't know, that Oz the Great and Powerful movie wasn't very good, so I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, but sure. I mean, they're going to remake everything at some point. As much as I don't want them to, they're going to remake Back to the Future at some point. I don't know when it's going to be, and I hope to God they don't, but it's going to happen because they're going to remake everything. Edits for Your Soul. Sup, I just got here. Welcome, man. We are just doing a Q&A, just talking with you guys, and, you know, answering all of your burning questions about anything. You know, my collection, any of my movie opinions, any of my thoughts on anything that's going on in the world of movies today. What's my favorite movie from 1955? I'll probably have to look that up on IMDb, but whatever you want to ask me, I am happy to answer. This is all for you guys, just to kind of do this Q&A. I usually go live on Sunday nights, but I know not a lot of people can join on Sunday nights, so I wanted to do this extra live just to kind of do a little Q&A here. No real time limit. I didn't really care how long this went. I probably won't go till like 11 or anything like that, but probably a good 45 minutes to an hour or something, just to answer as many questions as I can from you guys. Let's see. Reaction for Life said, "Thank you for sure. I get it now." Awesome. Yeah, definitely get that. It's Blade Runner 2049 is such a great film. Edits for Your Soul says, "Good thing. Good thing I'm not too late." No, you're not too late, man. You were just in time. You are just in time. Let's see. Patrick Curran says, "Are you looking forward to the new Suicide Squad movie?" I am looking forward to it, mainly because I think John Cena looks great in the movie, and obviously he's going to get his own TV show, so I guess he's doing something right in the film. And it's directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy. I like both of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies a whole lot. So yeah, it looks really good. It looks fun. I don't hate the first Suicide Squad. I think there's good parts in it. I think Harley Quinn's obviously great. I was a big fan of Birds of Prey. I like Birds of Prey a lot. And yeah, it sucks that Will Smith's not in it, because I think that he could have brought a really fun dynamic, especially like between him and John Cena would have been really cool to see. But yeah, I am looking forward to the Suicide Squad movie. Let's see. Danny K review says, "Favorite Ryan Gosling movie performance?" Mine is Drive. Drive's up there, but Place Beyond the Pines is definitely up there for me, even though I don't want to spoil the movie, but La La Land, I love him in La La Land, obviously. If you all have not seen, this is an underrated Ryan Gosling movie. If you all have not seen Lars and the Real Girl, I think that's the title of it. That's a really underrated Ryan Gosling performance and Ryan Gosling movie. That movie, it's kind of like a dark comedy, but it's really good, and I recommend checking it out right there. Yeah, Ryan Gosling. He's one of my favorite actors. I'm trying to think of another movie. The Nice Guys. He's great in The Nice Guys. Yeah, tons of great Ryan Gosling movies. But Drive's probably up there. It's probably like Drive, Place Beyond the Pines, and Blade Runner 2049. I love him in all three of those movies. Let's see. Sam Jr. said, "Bye, Ken. Gotta go." That's fine, Sam. I appreciate you coming, man. I appreciate you dropping by. Reaction for Life says, I keep saying Reaction for Life. Why do I keep doing that? Thoughts on Snyder Joker pictures. Somebody asked me that not too long ago. I think they're cool. I fail to really understand the point of it all. I guess like somebody pointed out that he's going to be like in the dream sequences. I think that was Pratty that pointed that out. But yeah, at this point, I'm gonna watch the Snyder Cut, but if I'm being 100% totally honest, I don't care about it. I don't care about it that much. I haven't cared about it since they announced it last year, and I had to talk about it for like 3 months straight. But I'll watch it. But I don't care too much about it, because Justice League wasn't that good anyway, and I don't see what they're going to add or take away or reconfigure into different parts to make it better. I don't know. That's just how my mind works. I just don't see how they're going to make it better, but I could be wrong. I am going to watch it, and I'll be happy to eat my words if it's good. Danny K review says, "I also took my daughter to see Moana in theaters." Awesome, man. It was such a great experience. And my daughter was only like 2 at the time, and then when it came out on Blu-ray 4K, we used to watch it all the time at home. And yeah, I love that movie. I love it so much. I used to listen to the soundtrack all the time. Reaction Life 21. "What are your thoughts on Tower Heist?" I have not seen Tower Heist. I think I have Tower Heist. I might have it like on DVD or something. I feel like I got that at a what is it? A Dollar Tree. I feel like I got that at a Dollar Tree. So let's see. Okay, that was Reaction Life. Edits for Your Soul. Okay, so I want to share my top 5 favorite films with you, and then I was wondering if you've watched any of them. That's awesome. That's a good idea. If anybody else wants to do that, that would be cool. That's actually a cool idea. Edits for Your Soul said, "Number 1, The Village." Really? Number 1 is The Village? I'm not a big Village fan at all. I think that's That's easily my most disappointing M. Night Shyamalan film. That's the one I love. Signs. Signs is in my top 25 movies of all time. And when I went to go see The Village, it let me down a lot. But that's your list, and I am happy that you like The Village so much because it's not a bad movie. A lot of people do like it, but yeah, that's an interesting number one for sure. Pratty says, I have a big hunch that they'll remake Back to the Future with Tom Holland someday. Can't wait to rant that day. Well, they're going to have to do it quick because he's getting older and he's doing more of these kind of grizzled, hard-edged movies. I don't know how much longer he can get away with being Marty McFly. It'd have to at least be within the next 5 years. So let's see. Editor Your Soul said, number 2, Pete's Dragon, 2016. That was a pretty good movie. I did like Pete's Dragon in 2016. Number 3, A Quiet Place. Love A Quiet Place. I am so looking forward to A Quiet Place 2. That broke my heart last year. That was the one that really got me because they're like, A Quiet Place 2 is delayed. That was like the first one. Everything went to shit after that. And that is my most anticipated movie. Anything that could have been on the slate to come out, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. The Hole in the Ground is number 4. What is The Hole in the Ground? Is that a horror movie? I think that's a horror movie, isn't it? Number 5 is The Force Awakens. Love Force Awakens. That was definitely an awesome return for Star Wars. I remember feeling like a little kid again in the theater watching that film. So yeah, that is a good top 5. But The Village at number 1 is a little curious. About The Village being number 1. What's the story behind that? Tell me why The Village is your favorite film of all time. I want to know. Patrick Curran says, are you going to watch Spider-Man 3? Of course, man. I'll be there, hopefully in a theater when everything goes back to normal. But yeah, that movie sounds super interesting and awesome. Can't wait to check that out with all the multiverse stuff. And I've been talking about WandaVision every week on Ken's Movie Experience, and I'm loving the show so far. They're doing some crazy shit in there, starting to introduce the multiverse with what happened last week. And between that and then going into Doctor Strange, and I think Spider-Man 3 is supposed to be before Doctor Strange. But yeah, all that multiverse stuff, I'm sure that Marvel, I'm excited for it because I know Marvel's doing it. Now, when DC starts talking about their multiverse stuff with the Flash and all of that, I'm like, you guys are going to mess this up and completely fuck everything up, and it's not going to make any sense. With Marvel, I have absolute, complete faith that they're going to pull it off. So yeah, super excited for it. Let's see, Reaction for Life. Can you talk about your 4K DVD player? So yeah, it's a LG. So it's not the best 4K DVD player, but yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. I used to watch it on my Xbox One, but then when I moved down to the basement, I had to get another one. So I got it, I think, in March or something of last year. It was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, I got that 4K player. But yeah, it's fine. It's not the best 4K player, though. I have issues with it sometimes, not reading the discs right away. So, but yeah, it'll work for now. Reaction for Life said, number 1, Avengers Infinity War. That's a great movie. That was in my top 3 of 2018. It would have been my favorite superhero movie of that year if it wasn't for a little film called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love that movie. That might be my favorite animated movie of all time. That is my favorite superhero movie of all time. That is my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. I love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse so freaking much. Like that theater experience, going to see that, and I'll always bring out that theater experience because I think that's important to remember right now, especially right now. But yeah, taking my entire family, my daughter, my son, my wife, all of us were so invested in this story. The music was great. The freaking animation was phenomenal. Characters were awesome. It was funny. It was dramatic. It was emotional. Just all of these things into one. And it's just such an amazing movie. I can't get over it. I watched it like 4 times after I bought the 4K. And yeah, I love that movie so much. Patrick Coran said, did you like Bill and Ted Face the Music? It was okay. If I'm being honest, I wasn't a huge Bill and Ted fan. I just watched the first 2. I bought the double pack Shout Factory at Walmart, and then I watched the first 2 in anticipation for Face the Music. And it was okay. But I do have a hot take because I like Bogus Journey better than Excellent Adventure. And not a lot of people have that same take. So let's see right here, guys. We got 4K Corner is here. He says, hey, Sam Jr. I don't know if Sam Jr. is in here anymore, 4K, but welcome. I am glad that you're in here. Reaction for Life, number 2, Joker. Joker's a phenomenal film. Danny K Review says, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Dune? It's Denis Villeneuve, man. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Can I do that? The only reason I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 is because I have read Dune before a long time ago. I think that is a lot to pull off. If anybody can do it, Denis Villeneuve can. It's a lot to pull off, though. So I'm hoping that he pulls it together. But yeah, and also I really want Denis to go back to go back to the smaller scale, like thriller movies that he did, like Prisoners and Enemy. I'm really excited for him to kind of make his return to that. I hope he does it at some point and doesn't just do Dune movies until like 2040 or something for the rest of his career, because Enemy and Prisoners are my 2 favorite Denis Villeneuve films. As much as I love Arrival, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, the dude doesn't miss. He makes masterpiece after masterpiece after freaking masterpiece. But yeah, I definitely love his smaller movies better than his bigger ones like Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival. And I do love those films too, though. Number 3 is Black Panther. That is a good one. Number 4 is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. That's the movie right there. Now, if you were in Ken's Movie Experience episode 2, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had a heated MCU tournament ranking, and people tried to put Winter Soldier at number 10 in the MCU. I said, no, that ain't going to happen. That movie is getting at least into the top 5 because that's my favorite MCU movie. I love Winter Soldier. And Reaction for Life, or for Life and Reaction. You know what, Reaction Life? I'm sorry, but from now on, you are Reaction for Life. I can't seem to quit calling you that. Number 5 is Tower Heist. I need to check out Tower Heist. Danny K Review says, will you ever set up Super Chats? Yeah, whenever I take the time to figure that out. I'm just now getting into this whole live stream thing. And yeah, it's cool, but you know, it's I gotta get some stuff figured out and get some stuff set up. I just got a new computer today, actually, in the mail, and I'm gonna get that all set up and stuff, and hopefully have a little bit of a better setup moving into the rest of 2021 than other than now just me doing this off of my phone. But right now, this is just the only way I can get on here and talk to you guys. And yeah, I haven't gotten to the Super Chat stuff yet, but hopefully soon. Cinephiles Nation said, respect for Paramount for not releasing any film on streaming. Was really excited to watch The Quiet Place 2 as well. I hope Top Gun release on the schedule date. Are you excited about it? Yeah, I'm excited for Top Gun. I watched the first Top Gun for the first time in 2020 when I bought the 4K. I had seen bits and pieces of it when I was a kid, but never like in its entirety. And I loved it. I loved Top Gun. It had such a great 80s. It was so 80s, like in every, all the best ways. So I love Top Gun. Unlike one of the other 80s movies that I didn't like so much that I watched last week, Dirty Dancing. I didn't think that was as good as a lot of people were hyping me up to think it was. But yeah, Top Gun. It's like everything that you want in an 80s movie. Great soundtrack. It's got freaking Tom Cruise. And yeah, it's a phenomenal movie. Phenomenal movie. Let's see. Edits for Your Soul says, okay, The Village is my all-time favorite because it balances drama, thriller so well, and Bryce Dallas Howard gives one of her best and first performances ever. I also love the creatures and lore. I do agree that Bryce Dallas Howard gives a really good performance. You know what I think her best performance is? Does anybody watch Black Mirror? Because I think that she gave her best performance on Black Mirror in that in Nosedive, which is the name of the episode. That's a phenomenal episode of Black Mirror. If you guys have not checked that out, definitely do it. I think Black Mirror is still on Netflix. It should be. So yeah, check that one out. Let's see. Edits for Your Soul said the cinematography is also amazing and the woods forest setting is beautiful. I also love the color use. I agree. It's got good cinematography. It does. Not going to take that away from it. But hey, that's your favorite movie. That's your favorite movie, man. Again, not going to take anything away from you there. You know, we all have different definitions of what makes a movie our favorite movie. So yeah. Jacob Baranowski, what is your favorite game or movie today? I am thinking about cheating on PlayStation with Xbox Series X. I haven't jumped into the new gaming stuff with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X, but Let's see. What is your favorite game or movie today? Favorite game today is, like I said, I don't game a whole lot anymore. So I guess my favorite game right now is Control because I'm playing it and I'm enjoying it. So I'll put Control as my number one. And my favorite movie today, trying to think of a recent movie that I watched. So I guess I'll go with The Green Mile because that's like, I thought that was like a masterpiece. It was a 10 out of 10. If we're going for like a recent movie, I watched a couple horror movies recently. I'm not going to call them my favorite, but I watched Psycho Goreman and I watched Bloody Hell, and I'm going to be reviewing both of those this week. So I'm not giving you my thoughts if I liked them or didn't, but I'm going to be reviewing both of those this week on my channel in some kind of dual video where I review both of those movies. So yeah, and let me think. What else did I watch this week? I watched Hillbilly Elegy. I can't even say it. I keep wanting to say Hillbilly Hillbilly Elegy. Hillbilly Elegy. I'm just going to say that over and over again for the rest of the stream. I watched that this week, and it wasn't as bad as most people were saying. It's very standard, but, you know, directed by, speaking of Bryce Dallas Howard, it was directed by her father, and it was an okay movie. I didn't hate the movie. I thought it was fine. Has some emotional moments. Amy Adams is freaking really good in it. Glenn Close is phenomenal as always. And yeah, it's got some good performances, and it's not really structured in a very cohesive way. Some of the editing is kind of weird, but it's an okay movie. Let's see here. But yeah, it's my favorite movie today. I'm trying to think. I guess it would be Bad Boys for Life because that was my number one of 2020. I'm trying to think of what would be on my number one of everything I've watched this year. So I guess Palmer. Palmer's a really good movie. Reaction Life says, I've lost myself again. Forget About It movie. Movie is 10 out of 10. All right, not sure what movie you're talking about. Let's see. Jacob says, Bill and Ted Trilogy is a must. 1 and 2 are better, but 3 is an ending that we can be happy with. Yeah, I mean, I like the ending. I thought it was cool, the little concerts thing that they did on the bridge or something. But yeah, like I said, all of those movies are just okay to me. I didn't think any of them were that great. But Patrick Curran says the film that disappointed me the most was Jumanji: The Next Level. I actually really liked Jumanji: The Next Level. I liked the first one a lot. I thought Jumanji: The Next Level was really fun. I liked the way they did they did just put them all in the same bodies again. Like they actually had different bodies. They went into different characters. And then I liked the way that they kind of changed up the mechanics of the world. Like they could do different things that they couldn't do in the first movie, because that reminded me a whole lot of how a video game is. A lot of the times with games, you gain like different abilities with the sequels. So yeah, I liked Next Level a lot. I thought Awkwafina was actually one of the standouts. I thought she was super hilarious and funny as was she? Yeah, she was Danny DeVito, right? She was acting like Danny DeVito. Yeah, she was funny. Funny in that movie. Cinephiles Nation says, I heard the runtime of Dune is about 2 hours only. Don't know how he's going to pull it off, but I have faith in the man who made Blade Runner 2049. I'm surprised it's that short. Like, that dude doesn't really make a short movie. All of his movies are about 2.5 hours, I'm pretty sure. Or and like Blade Runner 2049 is 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think, isn't it? No, yeah, it's 2 hours and 44 minutes. So yeah, that's kind of strange that it's only 2 hours. I guess because they're hoping it's going to be a series of movies, but I mean, I would imagine they would go into the different books, the sequel books, instead of chopping up one book into different movies. I don't know. Danny K reviews, where you live. I'm in Florida, so I am in Kentucky. Close to Louisville. Cinephiles Nation said that nosedive on Black Mirror was brilliant. Not my favorite episode, but Bryce Dallas Howard is so good in it. Yeah, my favorite episode of, that's probably like in my top 5, nosedive. I love that one. But my favorite episode of Black Mirror is the one with Toby Kebbell, The Entire History of You, where he has the eye that he can reverse, like rewind and stuff and like see what happened in his past. I love that episode. Edits for Your Soul says, I totally get why people don't like The Village. It's definitely not for everyone. Like you said, everyone has their own opinions. Definitely, man. Definitely. And you are entitled to yours. And I'm happy that you have that opinion because it's an interesting opinion. You know, just think of that. Like my favorite movie of all time is The Empire Strikes Back. Like, how many people do you know that their favorite movie is The Empire Strikes Back? Probably like 50% of the people that you ask will say that. And yeah, so I have a very basic standard choice. You actually have a choice that's interesting. So, be proud of your Village as your number one movie of all time. Cinephile Nation says, what are your favorite Black Mirror episodes? I am saying episodes because there can't possibly be just one. Yeah, I love a lot of Black Mirror episodes. Like I said, the entire history of you is my number one. I would say after that, maybe San Junipero. That's a great one. And then probably, I like the one with Daniel Kula in it. 500 Million Demerits, I think is what it's called. That's a really good one. I think that's in the first season. And trying to think of the other ones. I'm blanking right now. I love San Junipero, Nosedive. I'm trying to think of some from the fourth season. The one where the Hang the DJ, I think that's the one that's called. That's a really good one too. Yeah, so I wouldn't put any of the three that came out, I think in 2020 or 2019. I wouldn't put any of those from season 5 in my top 5, that's for sure. But that's probably 5 of my favorites, Black Mirror. I know there's one I'm missing that I just can't think of right now. But yeah, that's a really good question. CC Cinema said, hey Ken, did you get Greenland? If so, how would you rate the film? So I have not seen Greenland yet. I'm hoping that I get to rent it maybe tomorrow because my kids aren't in school tomorrow because we're having like ice and snow and stuff. And even though they do homeschool right now, but they still called school off tomorrow. So yeah, I'm hoping that maybe I'll get some extra time during the day tomorrow to watch and check out Greenland. So because I've actually heard some really good things about it. It looked like a cheesy disaster flick, kind of like Geostorm, Gerard Butler's other disaster flick, but I've actually heard really good things about it. So let's see. Edits for Your Soul said, hey Ken, have you seen Secret Window with Johnny Depp? Came out the same year as The Village, and it is super underrated. I have seen it. I remember seeing that in theaters in high school because I graduated in 2004. That kind of tells you how old I am. And yeah, I remember seeing Secret Window, I think like a couple months before I graduated. I think The Village came out in the summer after I graduated. So I remember liking it. I remember thinking it was good, but I haven't seen it since. So that's one I need to rewatch. Let's see. Patrick Curran said, my favorite movie of 2020 was Scoob. That's an awesome pick. I watched Scoob with my kids. It was fun. Patrick Curran said, and my favorite horror movie. So I'm guessing that's your, never mind. I thought you were trying to say that Scoob was your favorite horror movie too. Which, got ghosts and stuff in it, so maybe. 4K Corner says Secret Window was very good. It was a good movie. It was a good movie if I remember correctly. It's got Don Turturro. Am I saying that right? Yeah, he was creepy in the movie. Favorite horror movie of 2020 is The Invisible Man. That's a good pick. That was in my top 10 movies of 2020. That was my number 7, I think. So that's a good pick. Right here we got Edits for Your Soul says nice. So yeah, guys, just doing a Q&A. If y'all got any more questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat. I'm going to get into some of these questions that people sent me previously on my Instagram. Let's see. 4K Media Guy asked me, when you run out of room, will you still collect movies? No, I'll find a different place to put them. I'll just keep collecting. I'll never run out of room. I'll buy like storage facilities or something. But yeah, I'll never stop collecting movies. Right now I'm trying to restructure everything because it was a mess. I just kept piling up all of those Goodwill pickups on my shelf, and yeah, so no, I'm never gonna run out of room. I'll find some place to put them. I got a lot of room in here. Tons of bare walls. One of these days when I get stuff set up a little bit better, I'm gonna do like a room tour. But right now, pretty much all I have in this room is this wall of movies, and like all the other walls are blank. So my room tour would just be this wall if I did a room tour. So it would be too embarrassing. So I'm not going to do it right now. I'll wait till I got some stuff up. Let's see what else we got. 4K Media Guy also asked me, do you think George Lucas shouldn't have sold Star Wars? I mean, look, regardless of what you think about the Disney handling of Star Wars, at least with the sequel trilogy, George Lucas, he's not going to live forever. And I mean, it was his decision to sell it, and he sold it, and he made a buttload of money off of it. And I mean, I think that they just need to kind of figure things out. I think that it'll get better with time. You're already seeing it with The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Like, that's some of the greatest Star Wars that you've ever seen since the original trilogy. So, I mean, people like to hate on the sequel trilogy. I think it's earned, if I'm being honest, because I love The Force Awakens. I like Rise of Skywalker. Not Rise of Skywalker. I like The Last Jedi a lot. I thought that Rise of Skywalker was awful, a complete piece of shit. It's one of my most hated movies of all time. But you know, that's the way it. Solo's okay. Rogue One's okay. But the prequel trilogy, a lot of people hated on those when they came out and George Lucas directed them. So, do I think that he shouldn't have sold Star Wars? I don't know. I mean, that was really his choice at the end of the day. I can't really comment on whether or not he should or shouldn't have sold Star Wars or not, but I think that the future for Star Wars is bright. I do think that the future of Star Wars with Disney is bright, especially if they keep making content like The Mandalorian, because this past season was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal season. So 4KD Ray, I think he's in the chat, ask thoughts on what you expect from Snyder Cut. Better, worse, okay. So I talked about this a little bit earlier, and you know, I'm hoping that it'll be better, but it's not really a high bar to hit. And I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from it. I'm gonna watch it. I haven't even seen Justice League since the theaters, and I mean, when I watched Justice League in the theaters, I thought I wasn't that high on the DC universe anyway. I didn't really have that high expectations. I thought it was okay. You know, I gave it like a 7.5 out of 10 or something. I didn't think it was awful. Same thing with BVS. I thought it was okay. I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is like a 9.5 out of 10. It's like a freaking masterpiece superhero movie. But yeah, his other two movies are okay. So this will probably be okay. It'll be interesting probably if he's going to throw like the Joker in it and a bunch of other stuff. But I don't know. We'll wait and see. I don't think it's going to be some masterpiece freaking event movie that anybody's going to remember after like a month after it comes out. Only the hardcore Snyder Cut fans are going to really remember and talk about that movie like 2 or 3 weeks after it comes out. Everybody else is just going to forget about it. It's not going to be important. It's inconsequential to the whole DC operation and what they're doing now. They're just doing it as a way to kind of get HBO Max subscriptions and appease the fans. So, yeah, I'll watch it, but not really looking forward to that much. As for, is it better or worse? It'll probably just be okay. It'll probably just be okay. But M. Legault said, have you seen Greenland? I absolutely love the movie. Yeah, I answered that a little bit ago. I'm really looking forward to Greenland. Hoping I get to watch it this week. When I do, I'll probably be putting a review up on my Instagram page. So yeah. All right, we got some more questions in the chat, guys. Let's see. Danny K Review says, favorite movie villain? I choose Hans Landa. That is a good choice. So I will, I'll see your Hans Landa, and I'll give you, and I can't remember the character's name. I think it's Anton from No Country for Old Men. I can't remember his last name, but what is his name? What's the guy's name? Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men. That's a good villain. That is one of the most iconic villains. I would say that one and Heath Ledger and then Joker and then Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds all came out within a couple of years of each other. Those three are like three of the greatest villains of the 21st century, at least in my mind. And then you got, you know, Thanos from the MCU. That's a great villain as well. Sure, I'm thinking of some other ones I'm not thinking of, but yeah, Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men. That's an iconic villain that is just as is up there just as much as Hans Landa, in my opinion. Edits for Your Soul says, I'm hoping to watch Searching tomorrow. Have you seen it? Searching, you're in for a treat. That's a good movie. That is a really good movie. Speaking of Screen Life movies, I just got this movie, The Host, or Host, in the mail today. Ordered. I got it for like $10 off of Amazon, so I recommend ordering it because I think it's like $13 usually, but it was $10. What I like, so this is like an hour. I think I'm gonna watch this tonight actually. So I'm hoping to watch this in Greenland before I go back to work this weekend. But so this is the first RLJE title that I have seen with reversible artwork. That's cool. That's awesome. Like it's almost like Scream Factory artwork almost. But yeah, that's really cool. I mean, as far as I know, that's the first RLJE title that has reversible cover art. So that's awesome that they're starting to do that like Scream Factory. Let's see. But yeah, Searching's great. Searching's a great movie. You're in for a treat with that. That's a really good movie that for a genre that didn't take off like I think they wanted to. I think they did like Unfriended and Searching within a couple of years of each other. And yeah, I think they were planning on doing more films of that type, and it never really took off. But Searching was really good. I remember seeing that in the theaters in 2018. I think that when that movie came out, it's got Harold in it from Harold and Kumar. He's really good in the film. Patrick Curran said, "Did you like the 2019 remake of Child's Play?" I did like it. I liked it a lot actually, especially since I'm not a big fan of any of the Child's Play movies after Part 3. I love Part 3. I love Part 2. Part 2 is my favorite. 1 is a classic. Bride of Chucky is when that franchise started to go like into the goofy territory. That movie is passable. It's got good parts in it, like the John Ritter kill is really good, like the Hellraiser type kill in it. But other than that, I don't really love that movie that much. But Seed of Chucky was a disaster. Curse of Chucky kind of tried to take it back to old school Child's Play, but Cult was so bad it kind of erased everything that Curse of Chucky did. But I was a fan of 2019 Child's Play. I didn't love Aubrey Plaza in it, but I thought it was much gorier than I thought it was going to be. So I liked it for that, and I like the idea of him being an AI and like learning violence through exterior forces. Like I like that he learned how to kill from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I thought that was a really interesting part of the movie. So yeah, I did like that movie. Edits for Your Soul said 4K Corner. I agree. Love that film. Danny K Review says favorite director. Mine is Tarantino. I would say, look, Tarantino is probably top 3 for me. It's hard for me not to say Spielberg, and I know it's a basic choice, but like Jaws, E.T., Saving Private Ryan, Jurassic Park, Catch Me If You Can, Hook, like these are all classic movies from like my childhood, early teen years that I used to watch endless amounts of time, and I love Jaws and E.T.'s like in my top 5 movies of all time. So it's a basic choice, but I have to go Spielberg. But Tarantino's in top 3 for sure. And another one that is probably in there is Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis with Back to the Future, Castaway, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Death Becomes Her. So many great Zemeckis films I'm probably not even mentioning. I don't even think Forrest Gump. I don't even think you all realize how many great films that guy does. He's like almost Spielberg level, but nobody talks about him in the way that they should, I don't think. Let's see. Cinephilization said, I agree, Ken. Disney actually made Star Wars better except for Rise of Skywalker. However, the prequels are just disappointing. Love Revenge of the Sith, though. I cried. You were the chosen one scene. Yeah, I was very emotional in Revenge of the Sith. I remember watching it in the theater in 2005 as well. And in later years when I rewatched, I thought some of the parts were a little bit more, started to notice some of the more sillier like acting moments in it. But yeah, it was a really great movie, and I'll always say that the prequel movies were much better focused than any of the other trilogies in the Star Wars universe. And I put even the original trilogy in that, because as far as like knowing where you want to start and knowing where you want your story to end, I think that the prequel trilogy is just the most focused trilogy narratively than any of the other Star Wars trilogies. So yeah, definitely. Danny K Review says top 3 Kubrick. Mine is 3 Eyes Wide Shut, 2 Full Metal Jacket, 1 The Shining. So I did my ranking on Instagram of the Kubrick movies. Let me see if I remember my top 3. I think that 3 was A Clockwork Orange. I think that 2 was Full Metal Jacket, and number 1 was The Shining. So I did a Kubrick month on my Instagram last year, and I watched all the Kubrick films, some of them for the first time, like A Clockwork Orange for the first time. And yeah, Full Metal Jacket blew me away. That R. Lee Ermey performance was just like J.K. Simmons from Whiplash. Like that's exactly where J.K. got that performance from, was him in Full Metal Jacket. Love that movie. So yeah, our top 2 are actually the same, Danny K. So there you go. CC Cinema says Samuel L. Jackson was in Unbreakable. I love the fact that he can take on any role. And he said, yeah, I've said this before, and I don't think I've said it like on a live stream or anything, but this question came up one time. If you were to pick one actor if you were to pick one actor that you could only watch their movies for the rest of your life, those are the only movies you can watch is that one actor's movies, it would have to be Samuel L. Jackson, right? The dude has been in Star Wars. He's been in a bunch of Marvel movies. He's been in a bunch of Tarantino movies, tons of other awesome movies. On top of that, like the Unbreakables, not in Split, but he was in Glass. So many movies. The dude has like 200 movies to his IMDb. So yeah, he's covered so many different bases. That dude, he's phenomenal. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson is an icon, a living legend, and we should all be so lucky to watch his movies for the rest of our lives. But yeah, I would like to ask you all that question. If there was one actor that you could only watch his movies for the rest of your life, who would it be? Actor or actress? Whoever. Cineviles Nation says we have the same top two. Danny, watch Barry Lyndon. I wasn't a huge fan of Barry Lyndon, as you probably know, Cineviles, because you were in that Kubrick group when we did that. Craig Thompson said, thoughts on Masters of the Universe? Never seen the movie or the cartoon, so I really don't have a lot of thoughts on them, but I do need to watch that movie. Danny K Review says Kubrick was a genius, definitely. The only movie of his that I didn't like at all was Lolita. Eyes Wide Shut's okay. I'm not a huge fan of that one either, but Lolita kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Edits for Your Soul said, I loved Run, so I'm excited. Was that the one on Hulu? Yeah, I think was that the one with Sarah Paulson? All right, I'm losing myself. Pratty says, searching was astonishing. Don't know if I shut my brain or anything watching it, but I couldn't see that last twist coming. Yeah, love Searching. That was a great movie. CC Cinema says, another great villain is Bill Nighy from Underworld and I, Frankenstein. I've seen Underworld. It's been a long time, but I haven't seen I, Frankenstein. I don't remember that villain performance. Pratty says, one of my favorite villains is Solomon Lane from Mission Impossible. That's a great villain too. Those are great movies. Rogue Nation is so freaking good. That's a great movie. He was the villain in Fallout too, wasn't he? Or was it just Rogue Nation? Edits for Your Soul says, okay, please don't spoil. Yeah, no spoilers in here. This is a spoiler-free zone. I sure Pratty will not spoil that for you. Let's see. Patrick Coran says, got to get going. Have a great night. You have a great night too, man. We're gonna stop here in a second, but if anybody else is in the chat, we got about 13 people in here right now. Please like the video if you haven't already. I would appreciate it if you like the video. And if you have a question for me, if you want me to answer anything, go ahead and leave it down below. I will answer it before we leave this stream tonight. Let's see. Jacob said, live streaming Q&A. How are you answering my question? If so, what do you think about the new Indiana Jones? So yeah, I'm answering your question just like this, Jacob. You put it in the chat, I will read it and I will answer it. So what do I think about the new Indiana Jones? I'm excited to see it. Any movie that Harrison Ford's on board for, I'm excited for. But full disclosure, I have only seen the original Indiana Jones trilogy one time. I saw it in high school and I haven't watched it since. I have them all on Blu-ray. But I'm hoping, I'm going to wait for the 4K edition to come out. I'm going to rewatch them on 4K this year. And then I'll give my thoughts on them kind of fresh in my mind. But I've never been like a huge Indiana Jones guy. I saw Crystal Skull in the theater and I thought it was good. I remember liking Crystal Skull. I haven't seen it since, but everybody like says it's an awful movie. And I guess maybe because I'm not the biggest Indiana Jones fan, I thought it was okay. But that's just my opinion. Let's see, 4K Corner said, I always like Steve Burkoff roles as a villain. Who is Steve Burkoff? Name me something that he's been in as a villain. Let's see. Jacob Baranowski says, Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey, Bill Murray is a great start. Yeah, definitely. They're all great. I love all Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey, and Bill Murray movies. Those are incredible actors. Let's see. Edit for Your Soul. If I had to watch only one actor or actress, it would be Anya Taylor-Joy. She's so young and talented and has such a diverse career. Yeah, The Queen's Gambit, man. That show blew me away. That was the best thing that I watched in 2020. Hands down. If I'm going movies, TV, that show, that little 6 or 7 episode series on Netflix was the best thing I watched all year. Absolutely loved it. And The Witch is my favorite horror film of the entire 21st century. She's great in that movie. She's great in Split. Emma, that came out this year, I wasn't a huge fan of Emma, but you know, she's great in Thoroughbreds was a really good movie as well. The one with Anton Yelchin in it, like his last movie. And I forget the girl's name that's in it with her, but she's really good in that movie. And New Mutants wasn't great though. She had both like the best and worst year, I think, in 2020. New Mutants was awful. Emma wasn't good. The Queen's Gambit was the best thing I've seen all year. So definitely all over the map for Anya Taylor-Joy. But she has a great career ahead of her for sure. Neil Brooks, or Jacob Baranowski, says, Neil Brooks, National Lampoon, What We Do on the Shadows. Those are all good movies. Did you mean to say Mel Brooks there? Or is it Nell Brooks? Who's Nell Brooks? Is that Mel Brooks' evil cousin? Danny K Review says, do you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Amsterdam? A Royale with cheese. I love that movie. That's my favorite Tarantino movie, is Pulp Fiction, by the way. Let's see. I keep messing up my chat here. All right. Ed3 Schultz says, I know that's such an unpopular opinion, but anyways, thanks, Cinephiles Nation. Phil's Creepy Videos is here. What is up, Phil? Phil does some awesome live streams on his channel, so definitely check him out. And he says, it's your buddy Phil here. What is up, Phil? I'm so happy that you're here. It's awesome that you're here. He asked me, what's your favorite horror movie? It's a movie that desperately needs a 4K release, and it's The Exorcist. That's my favorite horror movie. So if I'm going top 5 horror, I'll go ahead and say top 5. So number 1 is The Exorcist. Number 2 is The Shining. Number 3 is Halloween. Number 4 is Psycho. And number 5 is Rosemary's Baby. They're all pretty basic choices, but those are the movies that I love, and those are the movies that have been with me the longest through my decades of horror fandom. So love all of those movies for sure. So yeah, that's a great question, Phil. Love that question because I'm a huge horror fan. Cinephiles Nation says, Crystal Skull was mundane while the other 3 are super adrenaline pumping action flicks. James Mangold is making the 5th one. So I am curious. Yeah, if he's, I heard that was a rumor that he was doing it. I didn't know if it was 100% confirmed yet, but if he's actually doing that movie, it's going to be great because that guy, like almost everything he does is phenomenal. In that movie that he made in 1997, Copland, that was my favorite watch of anything that I watched for the first time in 2020. That was my number 1 on my first time watch list of 2020. Thought it was a freaking phenomenal movie. If you all have not seen Copland, please, for the love of God, watch Copland because that movie to me is like a Scorsese movie, but what James Mangold does with that movie is like almost better than anything Scorsese does with his crime dramas. I love Sylvester Stallone in that movie. He gives such a great performance. That's probably his best performances. I love Rocky, but that's probably his best performance in his entire career. So definitely check out Copland. It's such a good movie. Such a good cop drama. It's got all the Scorsese staples in it. It's got Ray Liotta. It's got Harvey Keitel. It's got Robert De Niro's in the movie. Sylvester Stallone. I mean, he's never been in a Scorsese film, but everybody else other than Stallone has been in Scorsese films in that movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love Copland so much. I cannot recommend that movie enough for people that haven't seen it. And it was directed by James Mangold. It was like one of his first movies. So that just goes to show you like how great he was going to be in his career. Let's see. 4K Corner says, Beverly Hills Cop, Rainbow Films, bald head guy with a bump on his forehead. What do you got? I'm struggling to. People keep listing like random 3 topics. Did somebody ask? Did I ask a question that warranted that kind of answer? Let me know. I forget if I did. CC Cinema said, "What are your must-haves for upcoming 4K movies?" So, A Clockwork Orange is one that's been announced. That's a must-have. Indiana Jones trilogy. That's a must-have. These are all like rumors, but Inglourious Bastards, that's a must-have. So yeah, those are probably some of the top must-have 4K releases that I know about that's coming out this year. A lot of those are rumors, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come out. So yeah, definitely excited for all those. But Cinephiles Nation says Anya Taylor-Joy is going to play Furiosa. Let that sink in. Yeah, she'll kill it. I feel sorry for Charlize Theron because I know she wanted to continue to play that character, but she'll do great kind of taking that mantle. Phil's creepy video said mine is The Exorcist as well. Hashtag twin, and it came out the year I was born. First me. I know it's a basic answer, but it's the right answer. It's such a good movie. Like it's just, and it's scary. It scares me every single time I watch the movie, and I've seen it like 100 times. And also that's a movie that kind of, it grows with you over time. Like what it meant to me when I was a kid is different than what it means to me now. Especially being a parent, like I really identify and relate to Ellen Burstyn's character in that movie. She gives such a great performance in that movie as well. So yeah, absolutely love The Exorcist. Jose Sanchez is here. What is up, man? Thank you for joining us here tonight. Hey man, picked up the Bloody Valentine's Day Steelbook. I like the remake way better, although I did enjoy the original. What are your thoughts on the film? I'm jealous of everybody that keeps posting that Steelbook because I was in Best Buy yesterday and I saw it and I didn't pick it up. And I wish I did because it looks amazing. Everybody keeps posting these amazing pictures of it. I actually found that film like in a Goodwill last year for like $2 on Blu-ray. So that was a really cool find. So I do own it. The remake is okay. I didn't love the remake, but I definitely like the original better. So Phil's creepy video says first memory of horror is watching The Exorcist when I was 5 years old. That is a hell of a horror movie to watch when you're 5 years old, Phil. Now I understand why you were so creepy. I'm just kidding. I watched, I think the first memory of a horror movie I watched was, it was It, I think the miniseries and I remember like peeking my head around the corner and my parents were watching like the miniseries on TV, or it was like my grandma's or my aunts or something. And yeah, that was my first memory, and that's why I love the It miniseries. I still love it. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. And then that kind of led into, I think, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason. Those were the franchises that I watched when I was real young. And then when I got to be about 10 or 11 is when I got into Halloween. And then I watched The Exorcist and The Shining and all that stuff. Let's see. Jose Sanchez says Copland. Let's see. Edis for Your Soul says, I haven't seen any Mad Max movies, so am I in for a treat? So you're asking the wrong person because I've only seen the most recent one and I like it. I think it's visually a masterpiece, but the movie itself I don't think is a masterpiece. I think it's got some narrative issues. It's a movie I don't really get. I'm all about like characters. I have to connect with characters in movies to really enjoy it. And there's not a lot of characters to connect with in an emotional way in that movie. Visually though, it's a masterpiece. It's got some like the best cinematic images everywhere. I'm kind of a hypocrite because I post about it all the time on my Instagram just because I know that those images will get a lot of hits because everybody loves the movie and they're gorgeous images. So Jose Sanchez said, I meant Copland is an underrated film that deserves a rewatch. Definitely. It deserves a 4K too, for sure. It deserves a 4K. I would scoop that up in a heartbeat. Phil's creepy video says, did you like Brightburn and do you think it needs a sequel? So I do have Brightburn, by the way. Because this is a movie that I'm only pulling it out and bringing this up because when I was going through my 4Ks, reorganizing my collection last night, I pulled this out. I'm like, I bought this on 4K. I didn't even remember. This is an awesome 4K cover. I love it. The movie, I really liked it. I didn't think it was like great or anything, but I really liked the movie overall. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool kind of super here. I knew it would be gory. I didn't get how much gore would be in the movie because there's a really good amount of gore in that movie. So it's a pretty good horror movie for sure. But let's see. Do I think it needs a sequel? I don't remember how it did at the box office. Did it do pretty good? Yeah, sure. I would take a sequel. I'd take a sequel in a heartbeat. Yeah, because those post credits it was like post credits, or it was showing you what he was doing while the credits were rolling. And yeah, I'd be down for a sequel. I would be down for a sequel. 4K Corner said Brightburn was really good. Brightburn was really good, better than what people were saying in the reviews. Yeah, I don't even remember what the reviews were. I was pretty positive on it when I reviewed it. Yeah, I thought it was one of the better films of 2019. Really good film. At least one of the better like genre films. Side Hustle Cinema is here. What is up, man? Have you seen the original My Bloody Valentine? Yes, it's been a while though since I've seen it, but I have seen it. It's probably been about 15 years since I've seen it. Pratty says, I also have just seen Fury Road. The other films just don't appeal to me enough, and you're definitely in for a treat. Fury Road is the best action film of the past decade. Yeah, I keep meaning to order the Mad Max Kino Lorber release, and I haven't got around to doing it yet. Let's see. Edits for Your Soul says, I'm really hyped for Fury Road, hoping to watch it sometime this year. Definitely hyped for Fury Road. Let's see. Wow, I thought you were talking about the sequel there. Yeah, get hyped for it. It's a good movie. Check it out. CC Cinema said, Phil's creepy videos. I love Brightburn, and I was hoping for a sequel. Definitely. Jacob Bernowski says, Cliffhanger, Rocky 1 through 9, Creed, Rambo 1 through 9, Death Race 2000, Expendables 1 through 4. Awesome. Cliffhanger is one I need to get on 4K too. Haven't got around to getting that one yet. Jose Sanchez says, LOL, I know, dude, you should have picked it up. What about 13 Hours Steelbook? It's lingering on my mind. It looked really good in person, but I'm not... I think that's one of the few good Michael Bay films from like the past 10, 15 years. But yeah, I didn't pick it up because I like the movie, but I don't like it enough to get the 4K Steelbook of it. CC Cinema asks, what actress or actor that you wish would come out of retirement for one more movie? I'm struggling. It's definitely, let me think of his name. The last movie that he did was Welcome to Mooseport with Ray Romano, Gene Hackman. I'm pretty sure he's still alive, right? He's not dead. Gene Hackman is one of my favorite actors of all time. I would definitely want him to come back and do one more role in something for sure. Let's see. Jacob Bernowski says, Over the Top, Copland, Rocky, Rambo, one after another. He is in like The Dark Knight 2007. Are you talking about all your favorite Stallone films? Is that what that is? Phil's Creepy Video says, if you could go for an hour lunch with any horror movie actor or actress, living or dead, who would you be eating lunch with? Damn, that is a good question. That is a very good question. So if you could go for an hour lunch with any horror movie actor or actress, living or dead, who would you be eating lunch with? I got to think about that for a second. Off the top of my head, just because I watched Savage Streets and because I love The Exorcist so much, I'll go with Linda Blair. I think she'd be a fun lunch date to have, and we could talk about The Exorcist for a little bit. What it was like spitting up pea soup and doing that thing she did with the crucifix. Yeah, that would be cool. And I would have a lot of questions for her about Savage Streets as well, because that was a really gnarly movie. I enjoyed quite a bit. Are you on Instagram, Phil? Yes, I am on Instagram, actually. I have the links in my description below if you want to check those out. But I actually have two Instagram pages. I got Mid-Level Movie Reviews, where I review movies. And then I got my media page where I kind of break like announcements for new 4Ks and Blu-rays and stuff like that, kind of post Blu-ray shots and things like that. So Danny K says, later, brother. Later, man. We're getting ready to wrap it up here in a second. CC Cinema says, yes, Gene is still alive, LOL. All right, I was just making sure, because sometimes it feels like all of these deaths are just going a mile a minute, and I can't keep up. I mean, we lost freaking Sean Connery recently, for crying out loud. It's crazy. But yeah, guys, we are going to go ahead and end this stream right now. I appreciate everybody that came in here, asked a question tonight. This was super awesome and fun for this random kind of Q&A stream. I'll probably do more of these. I might try to do maybe 2 a month or something, but I do a live stream every Sunday night. It's more topic based, where we just talk about like the movies that came out over the weekend and just other topics that come up, news, trailers, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll try. I like doing the Q&As because they keep me on my toes, you know, answering cool questions like if I could go out for an hour lunch date with any horror actor or actress. That's a really good question. But yeah, so I'll try to make these Q&As like maybe twice a month on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'll always promote it. And then every single Sunday I do Ken's Movie Experience. If you guys want to join me there at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, that's when we do that show. But yeah, thanks to everybody that joined. Phil, Cece, Danny K, Jacob, you got Sam Jr., Pratty, Cinephiles Nation, all great people. Follow their accounts. Awesome YouTube channels and all that stuff. So, but definitely appreciate everybody joining here tonight. This was super fun, super awesome. Danny K Review says streams are dope. Do them more often if you can. Yeah, and I will be improving upon the quality of these streams. They're not always going to be from my phone. I did get my new computer in today. I'm going to get into setting up some more professional layouts. Also having guests on my streams and stuff like that. That's something that's going to be happening in the future. But yeah, edits for your show. Thanks for joining me here tonight. Reaction Life. I appreciate it all. Everybody was so great tonight. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, as for things that are going to be dropping on my channel, I did drop my Cinema Paradiso Arrow video review today. You guys can check that out tomorrow. I'm going to be dropping my entire Scream Factory, Shout Factory collection. Got about 66 titles in total that I'm going to show off to you guys. It's going to be about a 40-minute video, so I appreciate anybody that takes the time to watch that one. And please drop me a like and a comment, like what's your favorite Scream Factory. I got a Big Lots hunt that I'm going to be doing this weekend up on my channel, and I'm going to be doing Psycho Goreman review and Bloody Hell review, kind of like a double review video that should be dropping on Friday. But again, appreciate everybody joining. Please follow me on Instagram at Mid-Level Movie Reviews and Mid-Level Media. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for some reason. Like this video before we end the stream. I would definitely appreciate that. Turn on all bell notifications for future videos, and we'll see you guys next time.